Hey guys, welcome to Force of Will 101 with Matt, and today we have another ruler discussion for you. Water, meaning Kaguya. One of my favorites, lore-wise, story-wise, I think she's just awesome, awesome card. So, if you followed her before, you know all about the treasury items, and that's theme definitely continued into this next set. So, let's go into the ruler herself. So on her ruler side, she's Moon Priestess of Stellar Wars. No real abilities other than her J activate. Pay 2 and X, and you can only spend Moon Will on the X ability. Might be a little costly in light of Split Heaven and Earth, which is going to punish us for having a lot of moon producing sources, but the cost is it's definitely worth it. So if we go on to the next card, her Enter effect is why we want to pay a lot of Moon Will. Is search your main deck for X treasury item cards and put them into your field. So let's just think about Branch of Horai, Jewels of Dragon's Neck, Holy Lance, Longinus, any of those items, especially her Lance, which we'll get into in a minute. All these are great items that you want to be playing, either on your Resonators or on her, or just putting on in the field to stall the board. Why is this so good? For every treasury item you play, she gets plus 200 plus 0. So you stack the board with all these treasury items, give her, let's just say, plus 600 for having them, and they give you this control element where you can just lock down their creatures, and very quickly she's a 1,000 flyer, so she's going to go over top of all your opponent's Resonators and really can close out the game pretty quickly. So she's really supposed to be more of a control. When she flips, she's going to just end the game as quickly as possible. Maybe you're drawing a lot of additions, treasury items that you don't really care for. Her activate is banish 3 treasure items, gain control of target Resonator. Oh, you just played that Mephistopheles? Yeah, let's ship it over here. I'll take it. You're going to be in a point where you might not need the additional treasure items that you have, and it's just a great way to steal one of their creatures. So I think the activate is going to be a little bit harder to, enable to where you're going to want to be able to do it and steal a creature that's worthwhile, but it might have some limited interest where you can do that and helps you close out a game. Lastly, she has Imperishable, so let's say you flip her early on, you only get 1 or 2 treasure items, the game stalls out a little bit. You can crash her into one of your opponent's Resonators if they give you the option. She'll flip back over into Moon Priestess of Stellar Wars. You'll have more Moon Will, tap it for more, flip her again, put in 3 more treasury items, and then quickly you can find these items that are really going to help you close out the game or make her very, very powerful. So continuing on to that, let's go into a few of the special cards. Starting within the center here, we have Apollo Sphere, the Moon Lance. So speaking of those treasury items that are really, really great, this follows one of the new themes of this set is additions that we can equip to J rulers. So this says continuous add J Resonator gains plus 400 plus 0. But wait, if you remember, Kaguya also gains plus 200 for every treasury item you control. So let's say you flip Kaguya for just one low Moon Will. Suddenly you equip this to her and she becomes a 1,000 flying imperishable J ruler. And we've seen previously that can be pretty strong. Let's say you tapped out just to get this effect going and you don't have any other will available for whatever reason. This card allows you to banish the treasury item to pay the cost of a water spell chant instant. Why is this so important? Well, let's look over here at a Shooting Star. Shooting Star allows us to change the target of target normal spell with a single target. Cost 2 water will, so it is a little bit restrictive, but we can cast this for free. Why would we want to cast this for free? Oh, I don't know. Let's say you're playing against Abdul. Everyone knows about Mephistopheles. It's a 1500. It's just a big body. Nobody likes him. Just a terrible card. Actually, it's very good. It's just I hate playing against that card as much as I've been forced to at our locals. Let's say you're playing this game. You're putting out your own creatures. They go to cast Stoning to Death on one of your Resonators. You go, no, my friend. Not only am I going to effectively counter your spell, I'm going to keep my Resonator. It's going to stay alive, and I'm going to feel pretty good about it. I'm going to kill your Mephistopheles, and there's just not anything you can do about it unless they have another counter spell. But let's assume that resolves. So you're paying 2 water will specifically to counter their spell effectively and kill one of their Resonators in that situation. That's pretty good value. It's a little worse in value if you have to sacrifice off Apollo Sphere. But if you're getting rid of one of their main threats and protecting your own Resonator, you're probably okay with losing a treasury item. And lastly, one of the cards that I personally just love the artwork for, Alice, the Guardian of Dimensions. The thing I really loved about this set is that it introduced these hybrid colors. So for a water, light, and 1 colorless, we get a 700 with flying. So This in itself is pretty good stats for a 3-drop. It has flying, it has an evasion. And if we're playing this in the Kaguya deck, then you're going to have, let's say, oh yeah, we have Holy Lance, which gives it plus 500, plus 500, and Pro Dark. So very quickly you can realize that you're playing this card in a Kaguya deck that's going to flip. You can put Holy Lance on her. She becomes a 12/12, and she also can protect herself. So her activate for pay one Water Will. I cannot stress how insane that is. Target Resonator you control cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls until end of turn. So if we're playing a Water Will heavy deck, we can pay 1 Water Will to protect any of our Resonators. Notice it does not say target other Resonator or other target Resonator. So Alice can not only protect herself, she protects your entire team. That's pretty good. Protecting all your Resonators, it's just insane value. Like, yes, you probably want to leave 1 or 2 Water Will up just to make sure you're protecting her and one other Resonator, but you're probably okay with that if you're playing a control deck and going towards the late game. You're going to have that will available. And then lastly, her activate for pay 1 light and tap her. That is the activate. That's very important to note that is the cost. And then it says, remove this card and target Resonator from the game. So why is that important that it comes after? So what we can do is pay the 1 light will, tap her, declare your targets, chase it with Dream of Julia to blink her, so then it would resolve that her activate ability, she would come in as a new Resonator, and your opponent's Resonator is then gone from the game. So, you know, Dream of Juliet's already an amazing card. Addition removal is pretty important, at least in our local meta, and I think it's going to be very, very important in light of the fire attribute cards that we've seen. So let's say they don't have a lot of additions. Well, you can just blink your Alice for free and, you know, still remove one of their... It becomes premium removal at that point for a pretty low cost, considering if you're playing the water or light colors, you don't really have a lot of hard removal or great ways to really remove the Resonators. So this is definitely one of those options. And you know, I feel like there's one other card. Man, there's this other card that really likes playing stuff removed from game. Oh yeah, Lumia. Holy cow! So you're gonna be in a situation where Lumia's flipped, and Alice likes to walk between dimensions, so she goes back and forth. So on your turn, you play Alice, banish something, goes removed from game zone, goes back to your turn. Okay, I can only play 1 thing per turn, so I'll play Alice. It goes to your turn. I'll pay 1, remove her, remove your creature. She goes back and she hangs out with Lumia for a little bit. They have a little, you know, sip on some tea. They do what they gotta do. Then she comes back. Oh, it's my turn again. Oh, I'm gonna play Alice again and remove, you know, pass the turn, remove your Resonator, and it creates this loop where previously light and water really didn't have a solid answer for removal. And there was, you know, you can play these tempo cards like Hamlin tapping down the boards. We have Etna, which can tap down your entire opponent's board. But once the creature's gone, it creates this condition where they just get all of that back. So you were very focused on finding ways to protect them or trying to, you know, splash black for Carmilla or Stoning to Death. And, you know, while Stoning to Death is going to be just the strictly better card that you're going to want to rely on, this presents a really unique opportunity for Lumia to shine in this next meta, and it's something that I personally look forward to and giving players more options and more rulers that they can play with. So, yeah, I'll go on the record now that this Lumia and just Alice in general is just going to be an amazing card, and I kind of wish it was a super rare just to have that golden border and whatnot, but I think it's a very, very good rare that, you know, not a lot of people are talking about. So I would definitely look into that one, you know, going forward. So. Well, that's all I have for you guys today for this water discussion with Kaguya and her friends. You know, make sure to always like, comment, subscribe. You know, drop us some feedback. Let us know what you guys want to see next. As always, please, if you have a deck suggestion or something you want to know, shoot us an email at ggforceofwill@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to catch up with you guys either in the comments or reply back to you as soon as we can. So that's all I got for today, and I'll see you guys next time on Force of Will 101.